evening, everyone. I'm Gauri, an associate at Consulting and Analytics Club, IIT Guwahati, and your host for this exciting session on acing PM interviews brought to you under Crack the Case 2025. Today, we have with us an incredible guest. So please join me in welcoming B. Rakshitha, currently a program manager in machine intelligence for Map the World at Google Geo. She did a bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering from NIE Mysore, which must have given her a strong technical foundation, enabling her to seamlessly bridge the gap between product vision and execution. Now, with all that being said, I would like to invite Rakshita to address our audience.
Thank you so much. It's pleasure. Yeah, I'm excited to see what keeps me ahead in this session and happy to contribute, just share whatever I will. And also the time, being a CEO of product and stuff. So that was very funny, but it is not like that. I was completely wrong in understanding product management in that way. So my goal today is to pull back the curtain and show you that a career in product management isn't just a path, it's a way of thinking that you already have inside you. Like you do it regularly, but it's just that you have to take it in a more structured manner. So let's start demystifying this together. All right, let's things like, what do you think product manager is about? Anyone? Okay, I'll answer this very well. Yeah, I'll take the next slides which comes up next, like the lot more details about what a product manager is and what they actually do. So I'll I'll make sure that all of you are understanding it much better. For now, let's move on to understand the M rules. M here is the manager. So many people think all these roles are the same, but it's a big no. So let's clear up the biggest source of confusion what we have. Let's take up an example. No, think of building a product like making a blockbuster movie. So the project manager here is the line producer. Their job is to make sure the film is shot on time and on budget. And the kind of questions they ask is, are we building this movie right? So these are the kind of questions they'll ask. Next, the program manager is the is more like a studio head. They look at the whole slate of movies, the main film, the spin-offs, and all other stuff, and make sure they are all aligned with the studio's strategy. That's more like a team strategy, right? And the kind of questions they ask is, are all our movies working together to build a franchise, on the whole team side? Then comes the technical program manager. He or she is the VFX supervisor. They have deep technical knowledge of special effects and complex CGIs and all. They make sure the impossible shots in the movie are delivered perfectly. So, in depth, they'll have the knowledge. The kind of questions they ask are we building the right digital effect or not? Then, coming to the topic of today, the product manager. So, the PM is a director, the one who owns the vision. They are asking the most important questions like, is the right movie okay, or is this the right movie for our audience? Or is this story they'll be actually paying to see? Now that you have understanding of the differences between the M role, that is the managerial rules, let's dive into the deep into the understanding who a PM is. So I hope all of you would have seen this Venn diagram. This Venn diagram is probably the most famous visual in product management. PM isn't a master of all these three. Again, I'm repeating, a PM isn't a master of all three. You're not a senior engineer, you're not a CFO, or you're not a UX designer, or you're not a person who is expert in all these three and rolled into one. Instead, you are the translator. You speak the language of engineering to the business and the language of the user to the engineers. You are more like the hub, that connects the different spokes of the wheels. I mean, without the PM, the wheel can spin, but not in the right direction. So this is how the PM is defined in a very simple terms. And now let's understand the phases of the product and what a PM does on a high level in these phases. So let's make this more concrete by following a product we're all familiar with. Let us go with a fitness tracker watch. Imagine you are the PM responsible for launching the very first fitness tracker watch. So first comes discovery. You see a problem, your friends are using bulky, like, pedometers or separate heart rate monitors and all to track their workouts. So you think, now, what if we could just combine this and make it more seamless, right? So you become a detective now. You talk to people, you watch them exercise, and you validate that there's a real need for fitness tracker or watch, right? Then now your job here isn't just to build, but it's to listen and observe carefully. Next, coming to the planning. Now assume you have 1,000 ideas, okay? Like 1,000 ideas you have on what features can be built in your first watch. As a PM, your job is to say no to 999 of them. I'm telling 999 of them, you'll say no. You'll take one or maximum two features, which will be your MVP. That is minimum viable product. For the first fitness tracker, the MVP is just counting the steps and counting the number of sleep. That's it. Two features and nothing fancy out of it. Then you'll come to the development phase. Things get real here. The engineers start building what you have asked them to build, and trust me, they will have n number of questions. For example, should the button on the side be a click or a wrong, like, or a long press? Or what happens if the app loses connectivity? How do we show that in the app? Or what all login features we should build? And for all these questions, you need to guide them, because you are the only person who knows what the product should look like and what the product should do exactly. So your job is to be the human encyclopedia for the product here, and you are the only go-to person who has or who protects the entire product vision and knows it very well. Next, coming to the launch, it's your big day, and you have prepared your team, briefed the sales and marketing teams what they have to be doing, and the product is out in the world. And now you have a new job, that's watching and learning. This is where your first guess about what user wants is either validated or completely disproven comes into picture. Finally, the growth phase. The product is successful now, and now your inbox is flooded with requests. Like, flooded with requests of features. Probably, like, you might say, add a GPS as a feature, or can it track my swimming, or can you please change the color of the application? So all these kind of feedbacks will come into your feedbacks. I mean, your inbox. So now you're not just a manager anymore, you are a strategist. You look at the data, are you like you look at the data and come up saying, okay, are watch users swimmers or runners? And then you decide what to build next, GPS or a swim tracker. So the product life cycle is a continuous loop, and the PM is the one driving it forward, and always with the user at the center. Keep this point in mind. For product managers, users are the main important folks, and they're always in the center. So next, coming to the data driven, driven PMs, product analyst and data analysts. Now the two main skills I spoke about, like these are the two main skills, and I hope all of you have heard me speaking about research, data, users, etc., 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 and stuff. How will you understand those? Like, how will you understand what is the market research we have to be doing? How will you understand the numbers? How will you understand the data? It's by understanding the data and the product. And these two skills will be very, very, very handy for any given PM. Okay. Um, okay. As you move from a non PM to a product manager role, you will find that data becomes one of your most powerful tools. It's the difference between making a decision on a gut feeling and making a decision based on the facts. But not all data is created equal. So, and not all data roles are the same. Like product analyst is not same as data analyst, and having both the skills for a PM is very important. So now let's talk about the difference between data analyst, product analyst, and why a PM needs to have the skills of both, right? So first, a data analyst is the one who helps you zoom out. They're like, they're looking at the big picture, more like company sales, marketing campaigns, or what is the overall user acquisition, etc. Their job is to find patterns in vast amount of data and present it in reports and dashboards. As a PM, you need to have the analytical mindset to look at their charts and ask very, very insightful questions. Example, why did sales drop in that specific region only? Or is this a session trend? I mean, is this a seasonal trend that our product is performing bad? You won't be writing any complex SQL queries, but you should be knowing how to do it. And you will be the one asking all the insightful questions, right? Now, coming on to the product analyst, they are the magnifying glasses, I would say. They specialize in understanding the user's journey within your product. They can tell you exactly how many people probably clicked on a certain button, or how many people are actually putting the products into the cart, right? Or how many people are actually dropping off in certain stages of onboarding flow. So they live and breathe the A/B testing, that is also called as alpha or beta testing, and other user funnels. Probably I'll take up in my next slides what the funnels and what are the metrics that PMs use. Yeah, coming back, as a PM, the skill is very crucial. Like the product analyst and data analyst skills are very crucial because it allows you to back up your user empathy with numbers, right? You can go to your engineering team and say, for example, I know that we have heard users are complaining about this feature, but the data from the A/B testing shows that a small change in this feature can actually convert our users by 15%. That's the powerful conversation all of you will have being a PM with the engineering team or any other stakeholders. And okay, so what is the conclusion now? So the best PMs aren't just data consumers, they are the data storytellers. They can take raw information from data analyst, combine it with the granular information of the product analyst, and weave it into a compelling narrative their team or the stakeholders or the senior executive can vouch for, right? Then you need to understand both the skill set to truly own for a product strategy. And it's like you're unlocking the success to understand whether your product was a success, or is it doing well, or is it doing bad, where is it lacking. Data is very, very crucial. Understanding data and building the story around it is the, I would say, like the skill for any PMs. Next, coming on to vibe coding. So now tell me, how many of you have heard about the word vibe coding? Like, I know it's there in the news from many, many, many days now. I would say many, many months as well. How many of you have heard about it? Should I be taking that nobody has heard about vibe coding yet? Okay, I'll take that way. Then it will be good for me to explain what actually vibe coding means. Okay, so this is a new term you'll hear in the industry now, and it's not about writing the code, right? Think of it like a musician. You don't need to be able to play every instrument, but you need to know enough to jam with the band that is your team, right? So, in simple terms, vibe coding is about having enough technical intuition to feel the complexity and constraints of the code base. It's about knowing when a feature is a minor tweak versus a monumental re-architecture, right? Then, so why is this very important for PMs, right? Why is this a new skill now? Because it builds credibility and trust. When you can sit with an engineer and say, hey, I get this particular change is very complex, I know it takes a lot of time, so that time it means that you are partnering with the engineering team but not bossing around. So that credibility and trust vibe coding gives. So one more example I would say, probably when you want to check whether your idea is feasible, or you want to quickly build a demo and show about what you want to, like, build in future, like small demo, then go for vibe coding. Build a small prototype, understand how the product looks like, how it is working, understand the complexity of technical stuff and all, and you can present it very well with the stakeholders and influence them to build the product you are planning to. So that's vibe coding, and it's also used in many other places, like if you want to automate few stuff, or if you want to like build a small application for yourself to do some certain task. So for all that thing, vibe coding is very like I would say very handy. Next, one more important topic, machine learning for PMs. So now that everyone is talking about AI everywhere, many people have this question: should I be knowing AI and ML to the depth of understanding all the algorithms and stuff? Should I build AI ML products to become a PM, etc. and all? So here's the most important takeaway for future PMs: you don't need to be a data scientist or a AI ML expert knowing things in depth, but you need to be a data strategist. Your job is not to build the model here, but to ask the right questions. For example, what problem are we solving this ML model? Or is the data what we are using ethical? Like, are we using some sensitive data or not? Like, are we using some sensitive data in the product? Or the data which we are using in the ML model, is it biased? Like, are we targeting just one region? Like, did we take the data from one region only to take decision for the entire global? So these kind of questions you'll be asking when you're working with some AI ML kind of models. Let me give an example here. Think about the recommended for you section or the feature in the Netflix application if you would be using it. So the PM for that feature doesn't build the algorithm. They won't know what algorithm and all, but they define the business code. More like, for example, Netflix PM comes and says, hey, I want to increase the platform's watch hour or watch time, right? That is when a PM will go work with the ML team to figure out what kind of data should be used and how should we even be measuring these success from the user's perspective. So this is the ultimate blend of human empathy and data science. That is where AI and ML skills will be used by PMs. So that's about machine learning for PMs. Next, coming metrics and frameworks. So the things which I've mentioned in the slide are very, very, very less. There is a lot other things a PM should actually look into, but I'm just giving the idea on what things are here. So yeah, these are the main ones I would say probably. Okay, so the ultimate test of a PM is not just their vision, but their ability to prove that their product is working. Then it shouldn't be like, okay, you built a product and you launched it and your job is done. No, you should track the metrics to prove that whatever you have built is actually a successful product, or is it it is really loved by the users, or it is something adored by the users on day to day, like, or whatever the feature you have built the product for. And you do this with the data. Think of this slide as the PM's toolkit, as the name says, the essential frameworks and metrics you will use in your every single day if you become a PM. So the first one, it's called R funnel. The funnel, or it can also be called as pirate metrics. It is a simple but very powerful way to understand your product's health. So it helps you identify where users are dropping off. For example, if you have a high acquisition but low activation, your onboarding experience is broken. That can be a conclusion made. Or if you have a great retention but no revenue, you can conclude saying that you have a great product for people and they love using it, but they're not willing to pay for your application, right? So that can be one of the conclusion. That's about ARR. Then coming to the metrics part, as you become a PM, these terms will become, like, part of your everyday vocabulary, I would say. Like, that will be your English. So DAU, MAU is like daily active users or monthly active users. It's the stickiness metrics, I always call it as. And it tells you if users are just logging in once a month, or if your product is so ingrained in their daily life that they can't live without it, like they're using it day and night. For example, WhatsApp, like we use it every day, right? It's not, I mean, most of us use it every day. So that's more like a DAU and MAU. NPS is about love and loyalty. It's the key indicator of your products, brands, and customer loyalty. So assume that you like a product, and if you suggest someone to use that product, that's NPS. You are literally being loyal to that product, and you're, like, recommending someone to use that. And the churn rate. Churn rate is about the loss. It's the direct signal that your product might be losing its value, or that the competition is getting ahead of your product. So that's about the metrics. Finally, you will never have, I mean, usually PMs will get so many feedbacks and stuff. So you'll never have enough time to build all the features a user would want. So that's why prioritization is the PM's most important skill. And frameworks like Rise or Kano model, so these provide a structured framework, that is data driven way to make those tough decisions. Like, if there are 100 features that you want to build, you put it in the Rise framework and understand which particular feature is on the top, and you're going to build that first, right? So that is how you use these kind of frameworks to make those decision, which feature or the which product should be built first, second, third, and next. Yeah, they help you to move beyond your gut feeling because you're working with data, and it always makes sure that you're aligned with the product goals and user needs. Next, going on to few skills that is required to become a product manager, I would say. First one is communication and storytelling. Since you will be dealing with lot many stakeholders, uh, communication is very important because you need to put out your ideas, put out your thoughts, perspective about the product. And storytelling, as I think I did mention before as well, when you are dealing with data, how would you present that data? That is where your storytelling skills come into picture. You are literally making a story saying that, okay, if we increase so and so, like, if we probably reduce this feature, or, like, come up with a new feature, 15% will be increased. So that's the storytelling, you're putting it there. Then empathy. Since you are making the product for the users, you have to be empathetic towards them, understand their requests. But again, the requests will be hundreds and thousands, prioritization comes into picture. As I said before, you have to be very well aware of prioritization, and then be working on them. Then it's the leadership and influencing. So I would say product managers will work with engineers, UX designers, they'll be working with product managers, they'll be working with marketing teams, they'll be working with business teams, etc. And all your stakeholders you'll be working with, they'll be working for you to develop the product which you have asked them, but nobody will be reporting to you. So their managers are different, and you have to make sure whatever you want to build, you're influencing them without authority and getting your product done, right? So, like, leadership and influencing are, I would say, the core skill for becoming a very good PM. Prioritization I've already spoken about. Data analytics and metrics, as I said, data is everything for the PM. You have to be very good at it. And technical fluency. Many people ask me, right, like, should we do DSA coding, lead code coding, whatever, the etc things and all. Trust me, it's not needed. But you have to be good at understanding the technical skills. For example, you need to know what a API is, what a API does, and how it works, but you don't have to worry about building it. So you have to also, when you're speaking with the engineering team, you have to speak in their language, that is technical terms. So technical fluency is very important uh, for becoming a good product manager. It's always good to be fluent in technical topics. And product lifecycle management, market user research, and project management, these are other hardcore skills which a person should definitely have. Why I put project manager skills here? Because you your product team, so you have to be knowing what are the blockers, what are the risks, and what is the deadline, or etc. So it's very important to have these skills to become a very good product manager. Now, yeah, let's take a very short case study. It's more of a success case study. So, okay, let's play a game. Let's travel back to 2009, right? There's an app called WhatsApp, but it's not a messaging app. Back then in 2009, it wasn't. So its only feature is letting you set statuses like away, busy, or sleeping, something like that. Okay. So, how many of you think that this idea was a very good product idea? I'm not talking about the WhatsApp which is there now, but I'm talking about the WhatsApp which was there in 2009, where the only feature was to set the status. Was it a good idea? No, exactly. So it wasn't. But this time is where a genius of product thinking comes into picture. The PM for this product noticed something very incredible. So users were setting their status to things like heading out for lunch, going on a vacation, or I'm running late, or I'm in the meeting. So they weren't just updating a status, they were having a silent conversation, and a PM noticed that. So the PM goes to the team and says, let's scrape out the status feature. We are going to build a messaging app. We deal with WhatsApp every single day. So they didn't try to add games, or they didn't try to add ads, nothing. They focused on one thing: making messaging incredibly simple and reliable. So they solved the core user problem, and that's the perfect example of PM being empathetic build what a user wanted. And that is how WhatsApp became a global giant. Okay, now that all of you have heard me, I would say more like like heard me speaking a lot about product, what product is, product managers are. It was a lot, right? So, what are your next steps? If I would be in your positions, and in fact, when I was in your position in your fourth year, I did take these steps to pivot into product manager role. I know it's a lot that I spoke about previously, but I would say taking these steps would definitely help you to gain some experience and crack into PM roles. So first one, I would say building empathy. So next time when you get a project or you want to participate in a hackathon, don't just go about building a cool applications. Okay, my application will do AR, VR, etc. No, start talking to the people, understand the real problem, and ideate on that, build a product on it, right? That is where you will understand or you are acting like a PM. And the next one is practice product thinking. So probably next time when you are frustrated with the application, oh, why is this application even behaving this way, right? Ask yourself, why did they even build this feature? Why did they even do it this differently? Or why is probably two application which are having the same objective but they have built it differently? Why? So understand, ask these questions for yourself and understand why it is made. Go in depth, understand, read about it, and practice those product thinking skill for yourself. And the next one is technical fluency. Keep building, try to be little technically good. This will be a superpower, to be honest. It will be an advantage for all of you if you're really good at technical stuff. Don't lose it, and it will definitely make sure that you will become a formidable PM. So, and why do I put all these things out is, when I started my journey as a when I wanted to become a PM, when I decided that okay, I'll definitely pivot into PM, I was completely lost. Like I had no one there out there teaching me what PM is about. So I became active on LinkedIn. I started writing stories. I started reading other people's stories. I started following other product managers on LinkedIn. When I made sure that everything I'm reading, seeing, or consuming is about product management, that is when I became more comfortable in it, right? So to be honest, I started my journey for the product management with the TPF team. So that is where I started joining the sessions, understanding what a product is about, what are some skills, etc. and all. So after that, what about the cohort is done, I started participating in the teardowns. I started participating in the product case studies with the TPF teams. I started networking with other PMs to get involved in building them. And why did I say that practice product thinking? So most of the times I do remember that I used to curse few applications saying that, oh man, this application is so dumb, so bad, it's not working at all, right? But instead of complaining, I changed the way I was thinking. I started writing about it on my LinkedIn. Hey, this particular uh, onboarding flow, I really loved it. I used to talk and I used to put my PM thoughts out there. Or if I don't like certain features, I used to go and put it on LinkedIn saying that, hey, this feature, I found it on this application, it was really not good, and I think it can improve. Okay. People started engaging, they started putting their perspective, and that is how I started learning and pivoting into PM roles. So yeah, I even now I do that. I write a lot about some products and stuff. I also take part in case studies. I really love doing it because it keeps me with the trend, and it keeps me thinking about different perspective and all. So yeah, that's it about demystifying the product management role and how I pivoted into it. Yeah, are there any questions that I can take up? I hope it was
Um,
good.
there was this common question that right now you said that you should keep up with the trend. Apart from LinkedIn, what else do you think would be a nice way to just know what's trending in for PM roles
Um,
specifically?
Okay, so the thing is, LinkedIn is so used as a hub, right? There are product management groups, they have product manager cohorts and stuff. So definitely you can join them. There are few, I think TPF is also having some Slack communities and all. So you can join them, talk to them, understand. If not LinkedIn, there are I think there are few people who are very active in writing on Twitter as well. So that you can do. Other than two social medias, I would recommend, like, if you're not active on social media and can't follow anything, probably you can start reading some product related books, or, like, try to catch up with some newsletters. There are really good product manager newsletter, like amazing people. They write about the case studies, they write about the revenue, they write about all the trends like vibe coding, AI and stuff. There are newsletters which talk about AI product manager its own, right? So you can follow those, or subscribe to those, newsletters and stuff. And also Medium is one of the platform where I started writing as well. And there are, you can follow some pages or some keywords like product management and stuff. There are really good articles from scratch, right, written by product managers, other product managers. So I would say these are few things which I did, and yeah, those will be good.
Also, they are asking if like what is the actual role of case competition and how actively we should participate on them.
Okay, before joining Google, I used to participate in every single case study that came into my feed. Since I said, like, I was very much active on LinkedIn, there were few people who were connecting with me to ask, can I participate in, they wanted to team up with me, asking, like, can you participate with us for case studies and all. I used to take that opportunities, and yeah, different cohorts and all. They used to host some product management case studies and all. So I used to take part, like whenever I felt okay, I have time, then I can utilize it. I used to participate in that. And the role of a person participating in these kind of case studies is, you're literally working and thinking like a PM, right? Assume that we both are in one team. Like, okay, we come up with one of the we'll choose one of the, objective or the case question from the case study competition. We sit together. First thing what we do is, like, okay, we understand what the, the problem statement talks about, what is it about, right? Then we understand what are the competition of that particular product. Like, for example, if I'm doing a case study related to a Misho, so I'll just take this example, Misho. And Misho gives us the case study saying that, okay, I want to make sure that within next 6 months I should be having X number of extra users or the new users, right? So we both sit together. We understand, okay, who are all the competitors of Misho? That comes Amazon, Flipkart, Mintra, etc. And all. How are they doing? What are the things they're doing? What are the new features they have? What are they doing to compete with Misho? We understand that first. Then we track the user journey, right? So what is the first thing user does when he understands, or when he hears about Misho? Like, if I hear about Misho, the first thing I do is, okay, I'll go to my Play Store, I'll start downloading or installing that application, and I go about logging in or signing in. Then I search, I select the clothes I want or something which I'm searching for. Then I compare the prices, I put it in the cart, or I wish list it. Then I, order it. So this is the user journey we talk about. While we are talking about this user journey, what we do is, we understand the pain points. Okay, a person wants to sign in, but the sign in looks very tricky, right? A person who is not very comfortable, who's not very well versed about how to sign in, feels it very difficult. Can we go and restructure it? Okay, signing is done. Then the next step, going and exploring the stuff in Misho. The product listings, what you see, right? The image first, then you have the number of ratings, 4.6 or 4.7, then you have the product title, then you have reviews, etc. Is that really in a good order? Does that a user, like, do a user really need those things in those order? What are the things a product description should cover? So these things we discussed. Understanding the pain point throughout the user journey, you do that. After understanding the pain point, you'll be like, okay, fine, I've done the pain point, like, I've understood the pain point. Which is the first pain point I have to be solving? Should I be solving the pain point of choosing which dress it suits the customer, or should I be going and solving a problem where people are struggling to put the items in the cart. So for that, we use some frameworks, right? We understand, okay, RISE framework, what I spoke about. We understand, we put all these features into RISE framework. We put the percentage, okay. The top percentage says adding to cart is the highest priority one. So I'll start solving for it. What are the solutions we have to figure out for making sure that people are not facing this difficulty? So we go about solutionizing for each and every like, the pain points we have. People also do in certain way that what are the pain points they have, they start doing the solutions, and for the solutions they put the framework. That is also doable, but other way also you can do. Once the solutions are done, what are the metrics you're going to track once this is out? For example, i'll I assume that Misho did not have a wish list feature, so I'll come up with the wish list feature. So how am I going to track the success of this particular metric? Sorry, this particular feature. Is it the click on the heart button there, or is it like how many things are getting converted from, like how many stuffs I'm putting into wish list and getting convert, actually buying it? So these are the metrics we conclude, okay, these are the success metrics for this particular feature. So we understand that. Once that is done, we understand the launch plan, take it out, I mean launch it out. Then we understand what are the, like, uh, how are people actually behaving, or how are the people actually kind of doing things. So whatever I spoke now is exactly what you do in a case study, and that is the actual PM journey. Here, the only thing difference probably is you are thinking, you are doing, and you are discussing with your teammate. In the real world, case studies will be there, but you'll have extra stakeholders. Probably you'll have to deal with engineering team, design team, and other business team saying that, hey, we have to build this feature with this much of latency, or we have to build this feature and let the submit button be in the thumb, like position, like people can easily click on that, let it be on the thumb position, not on the top. So these kind of discussions, you do it when the application is getting built with the designers or the engineering team, but the case studies will definitely help you to think certain ways. Yeah, so that is my answer for the question you asked.
Okay, there was also this question that how should they start building awareness of AI ML without getting lost in the technicalities, technicalities? Because it's like you need to draw a line at some point, like you said previously, and you don't have to go too much into it.
Okay, for example, you don't have to literally okay, let me think of let me give this example. I took this example, right? Um, okay, like I'll take the same example, Netflix, where I give the example, okay, you have this recommended for you feature, right? How do the application know that you are seeing for something in the comedy genre? How do they know it? Because they track your user, like your journey, like what are you searching for, what is that something you are seeing more, what is that something you're enjoying more, right? So all this data, all these things will be tracked in the back end. Understand? Now the PM will say, okay, fine, Netflix is going good, people are watching. Now I want to come up with the feature called recommended for you, and for that I need the data. So you'll go to the data analyst or the product analyst team, and you'll say, okay, fine, give me the data on people, what this person, XYZ, I'm going to come up with a feature for this person. So what is that they're searching for? What is the genre they're kind of very interested in? What is that they're doing? So they'll get the data. What will they do with the data? I mean, they cannot be like, okay, today at this event, Gauri is coming and she is searching for, I don't know. How will I even predict what you're searching for, right? How will I even recommend? That is where ML comes into picture. And for you to understand, okay, this recommended for you feature can be done using ML is the first technical thinking you do it. how do you even know about it? Like, if you don't know about ML, if you don't have any knowledge about ML, how would you even go about thinking this feature, right? So that is where your first understanding of the ML things come into picture. After that, okay, you know that you can achieve this particular thing with ML, but how are you going to achieve? So if you go and tell, okay, fine, engineering team, go build this recommended feature. It should like, it should recommend the genre for people you're using according to what they've searched for. So engineering team, okay, fine, gives us the data, we'll start training the model. You're not involved in the training the model, but you're involved in collecting the data. For example, if I'm going to build this recommended feature in India, I cannot collect the data in US and tell, okay, build a feature for India by using the US data. No, because people in India are completely different from people in US, and what I watch is completely different from what people in US watch, right? So it should be in such a way that you should have all the basic skills. You should understand what data cleaning is, what is ethical in collecting the data, what is bias in data, like what are things possible by, what are things possible to do by using ML. So this understanding is important. You don't have to worry about which algorithm should be used for doing this. That the engineering folks will take care. So it's more like, if you want a product, I mean, if you want a feature that ML is required, you have to speak in ML language with the engineer, right? So that is the level of technical skills. And the more you know, the better. It's not necessary that you don't have to know about algorithms. If you know algorithms, it's a plus point for you, because you can always go and recommend to the engineering team, hey, you can use this algorithm instead of this. There is no limit for in-depth understanding, but knowing surface level of technical skills is very important. I hope I was clear in what I answered. You're on mute, Gauri.
Yes, okay. I almost took all the questions. Also,
Mhm.
there was this question that many students are struggling to balance technical prep with product thinking. So, how
Oh,
do you address this balance through vibe coding? Does that play any role? I think that is almost answered by you, but still.
yeah. As I said, if I would be in your position, I would spend more time in product thinking, very less time on technical stuff. As I said, like, and knowing the surface level, it's good. In-depth skill is a plus point, but having surface level of knowledge is okay. Like, you can deal with things, right? So, but I would rather go for a product thinking. So that is very important. In terms of vibe coding, why I took the topic is because I, like, I've seen on LinkedIn, again, as I said, like, LinkedIn is a platform where you are, like, you can see the trend and all. People are building very crazy products, right? Uh, like, vibe coding is giving a opportunity for everyone to build few things. Like, you can just go. You can just go to platforms where vibe coding is available and say, okay, hey, build a messaging application, and it does it with one go, and you can do whatever changes you need, right? When everybody is building, when everybody are doing the things, like, like, that's possible, product manager is the one who says what is actually needed and what is not actually needed. I can build very cool stuff using vibe coding, but it is not needed by a user. It doesn't add any value, right? And also, like, for example, if I am a PM and I want to see, okay, fine, I'm going to build a uh, messaging app, for example, how will that look like? I can just go and vibe code it to understand, okay, these are the things. And also, when you are being a PM, when you are working on some vibe coding product stuff, you understand few loopholes here and there. You understand, okay, this feature, instead of being at the top right, it can be on the top left, or instead of having this feature in this page, let me put it in the next page. All right, it's more like an instant demo you can build to show it to the folks who can see that demo and trust in your product idea, and you can do it. Also, uh, at least me, what I do is, if there is a recurring process, I try to automate it with vibe coding. I don't want to really spend time on some recurring processes, right? I just build a small tool here and there, which does my job automatically and which I don't have to take care about, right? And also, one more example, in my company also we were having some hackathon and they wanted us to build. So I'm not a very coding person. I can't spend time on building front end, back end, etc. and all. So I just use vibe code. I just went on the and it gave me the result which I presented it in hackathon, right? The idea is sold, the product is sold because I put the demo out there. So that is more like a visual treatment you're giving to the person who is actually listening to what you want to build. So that's where vibe coding can be used. You're on mute. No problem.
I'm so sorry, I did that again. Okay. There was this last question. Like, if someone is just starting out or is unsure whether they are the right fit for product management, what do you think should be the signs or skills they should look for in themselves? Like, be sure about it.
Okay, so first thing is, a product manager is not born, a product manager is made. So you become a product manager through the experience, by solving, by getting involved in the product, related stuff. So obviously, just by doing some product case studies, like one or two product case studies, or getting involved in product case study for 3-4 months, you will definitely not become a very good product manager, right? So it requires, and the product manager goes through lot many things, lot many new problems every time they're coming up with a new feature. So definitely there is no threshold saying that okay, you are a bad product manager or you're a good product manager. If you keep on getting involved in product related stuff, surrounding yourself with the product related things, you will definitely become a good product manager. And I would say the skills which I mentioned in my presentation, right, like storytelling, empathizing, or prioritizing, these are some skills which cannot be negotiated with, right? Being a product manager, having a storytelling skill with the data, it should come by its own. Like, I mean, not by its own, but with practice, it should come. So that, I would say, those are some really, really good skills product managers. And that you cannot define, I'm not ready or ready. You will become ready once you keep going with that. And it's something not, you can't tell that okay, within 1 year I want to become a product manager or a very good product manager. That's not possible, right? It becomes something which you're putting the time. It will take time, like for you to build story with the data, that skill will take time. For you to empathize with the user, for example, I'll tell you, empathy is such a I would say very tricky kind of a skill. For example, I'm using WhatsApp, right? I might be liking a feature. I'll be like, okay, this feature is amazing because it's doing my job as a PM, but users out there are not even thinking about this feature. And I'm not empathetic here because I'm thinking about my own journey but not about the user's journey. So I would say, like, empathy skill is also important. Like, you are forgetting that you are a PM, or like, you know that you're a PM, but you have to put yourself into somebody else's shoes and think about their journey. Just because you like something, it shouldn't be that okay, you're doing it for everyone because you are liking it, right? So those are some necessary to become a very good product manager. But it comes with practice and experience, I would say.
Thank you so much, Rakshita. That was really insightful and helpful. Okay, then I think that brings us to the end of this session. A huge thank you, Rakshita, for sharing your experiences and breaking down so many myths about product management. I think we'll end here.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Thank
It
you
was,
so much.
yeah, it was great actually. Like, I mean, the questions were also
Yeah,
very
it
interesting.
was.
I hope things are clear and people loved it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rakshita.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.